Good morning, Taiwan, and thank you for joining us back here after the day off on CTS. I am Louisa Lee. 早安，你好，欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给你最新最有趣的新闻。First, in Egypt, the recent protests in the city of Cairo, which escalated into full-scale riots between protesters and military police, left 24 dead and 200 wounded. 埃及开罗发生暴动，造成24人死亡，超过200人受伤。冲突的原因是因为有基督教堂被回教徒攻击，他们走上街头抗议，而跟军警发生冲突。
Military police vehicles chased down protesters in Cairo on Sunday night. At least 24 people were killed and over 200 injured when violence broke out during a protest by Egyptian Christians over an attack on a church in the southern city of Aswan last week. Protesters threw rocks at military police and set fire to vehicles, though they say the march was peaceful until it was attacked by security forces. Speaking on state television later in the evening, Prime Minister Essam Sharaf called for calm.
These events have taken us backwards and cast panic and fear over the future of the country, where instead of advancing to build a modern state of democratic principles, we are back searching for security and stability, worrying that there are hidden hands, both domestic and foreign, seeking to obstruct the will of Egyptians in establishing a democracy.
The violence casts a shadow over the upcoming parliamentary election, with candidates due to begin registering this week.
And now giving you the latest regarding the oil spill in New Zealand. Unfortunately, the oil has begun washing up on the shores of several beaches of New Zealand, posing threat to humans and animals, including penguins, whales, birds, and seal. The latest accident was caused when a cargo ship ran aground on a reef in Bay of Plenty last week. Residents are advised to stay away from contaminated areas until the situation is fully resolved. 纽西兰的漏油事件还在处理当中，当地政府已经建议民众不要前往受污染的地区。Now to lighter news, Tinseltown transformed into Lego Town. Now let's take a look at the following report to see how people are prepping themselves for Halloween that's just around the corner. 万圣节还没有到，但是在好莱坞已经有过节的气氛了。在中国戏院的外面展出用 Lego 做成的南瓜、巫婆还有吸血鬼，非常有趣。
Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles is ready for Halloween. A giant pumpkin made entirely out of Lego pieces is setting the mood, accompanied by a life-size Lego witch and a Lego vampire. And as Legoland's Julia Estrada explains, it's the biggest ever made.
It's 7 feet wide, made out of 22,000 Duplo bricks. It weighs 850 pounds, which is why it's staying on the truck. But we wanted to show everybody here in front of the Chinese Theater in Hollywood what it looks like.
The massive pumpkin was built to celebrate Legoland California's Brick or Treat Halloween celebration, which will run until the end of October.
And now let's update you with the latest entertainment buzz. The late English rock star John Lennon's birthday was celebrated in different corners of the U.S. this past Sunday. In where he considered home in New York City, a public art exhibition is currently ongoing, featuring the works of the legend who raised his brush and completely lowered his guitar before his death in 1980. 为了庆祝披头士 John Lennon 71岁冥诞，纽约有一场 John Lennon 的画展，里面展示超过100幅他画的画或者是歌词。参观的民众除了欣赏画之外，还可以捐钱给公益团体，帮助那些行动不方便的老人家。
Beatles legend John Lennon is still drawing in the crowds. To mark what should have been the late musician's 71st birthday this weekend, various pieces from his massive art collection have gone on display in New York. Featuring over 100 items, show producer Rudy Segal is delighted John's work has such a broad appeal.
It's great to see the wealthiest person in town standing next to somebody that doesn't have a penny in their pocket, and they can look at the artwork and listen to the music and still enjoy in the moment. And I think John would have been happy about what is going on here this weekend.
Called Gimme Some Truth, the collection includes drawings John did for his son Sean, song lyrics and portraits. Giving back to the city the music legend considered home, the exhibition is free of charge, apart from a $2 charitable donation. Each visitor is being asked to chip in a couple of dollars in support of City Meals on Wheels. Beth Shapiro runs the organisation.
City Meals on Wheels feeds homebound elderly New Yorkers, people who are 60 and older, who can no longer shop or cook for their meals. They've aged so much that they have become shut-ins in their own homes.
Before his death in 1980, John had changed from a musician into a fully fledged visual artist, painting for roughly 6 years without even picking up an instrument.
It's a different side of John Lennon. You know, most people didn't know that he was an artist or that he went to Liverpool Art Institute from 1957 to 1960. So he had some training and he had some formal education.
John Lennon fans will have to be quick if they want to see this display, as the exhibition runs from October the 7th to the 10th.
In related news, it's going to be all noise in the auction house in New York tomorrow. Hollywood actor Richard Gere is set to put up his personal collection of guitars for sale. And how much is he planning to take home for his extensive and long-term investment? $1 million US. 影星 Richard Gere 最近将他珍藏40多年的吉他拿出来拍卖，其中还包括很多经典款，预估拍卖总金额可高达100万元美金。
If you ever wanted to own a piece of Richard Gere, you could be in with a chance, provided you've got the cash to pay for it. Well, sadly, it's actually not the Hollywood actor himself who's up for grabs, but some 110 items from his guitar collection are due to go under the hammer at Christie's in New York. The Richard Gere collection features vintage American guitars and amplifiers that the actor has acquired over the past 40 years. Amongst them, the very first C.F. Martin, which could fetch between $50,000 and $70,000 US at the sale. Kenny Keane is specialist head of department for musical instruments.
It was the first D28 that Martin produced and stamped it with that nomenclature. The D28's hugely successful today and iconic.
Other notable items of this very personal collection include this Gibson guitar from 1932, which Gere used in the film Runaway Bride.
He wasn't outsourcing the purest examples of guitar making, ones that were unused, the way, say, a coin or a stamp collector would collect. He was looking for instruments that did something personally, tonally for him.
Gere's guitars are expected to rack in $1 million at auction day on October the 11th.
In movie news, based on the real-life story of English chef Nigel Slater, the drama Toast tells how a young boy ultimately defeats his stepmother's culinary skills in an attempt to win his father's love and affection. The kitchen battle played by Helena Bonham Carter and Freddie Highmore can be seen in Taiwan cinemas this weekend. 今天要为大家介绍一部美食电影《吐司进美味人生》。电影改编自英国厨师 Nigel Slater 的故事，描述他小时候失去妈妈之后，跟继母展开烹饪 PK， 也影响他日后寻找美食跟爱的人生旅程。
And the moon stood still for the nightbird's song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, but if you stay, I'll make you a day like no day has been. All will be again. We'll sail on the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. Then if you go, I'll understand.
No matter how bad things get, it's impossible not to love someone who made you toast. Once you've been through that crusty surface to the soft dough underneath and tasted the warm, salty butter, you're lost forever.
If you go away, ne me quitte pas. Il faut oublier, tout pas s'oublier, qui s'enfuit déjà. Oublier le temps des malentendus.
I'll give you a bleeding perspective.
À savoir,
and you can clean that.
Oublier ces heures qui tuaient parfois à coups de pourquoi le cœur du bonheur. Ne me quitte pas.
Don't worry. I'll look after you.
Namakita pa.